Hey folks, so this video is dedicated to Stephanie from our Sciatic misery group. Don't know what else to call it. This is my story. Hopefully it helps. Now, before I get into the whole thing of when I snapped my back, decades before it happened, I have this feeling down here which is called reperfusion cooling or reperfusion sensation, where it feels like there's no circulation or there's minimal. Do you know, like when you numb your arm somewhere and then you let go and the blood starts flowing and you feel that coolness? So when I hit a very specific spot, which I'll get into later, I feel that circulation. So for ages I've had that. But when my first time I snapped my back, I was doing my butterfly flutters, and then I usually try and get my head to touch the toes. And in this case, I felt something just click. Now, I didn't think too much of it because that time there was no pain, but definitely the stars were not aligned anymore. You know, like when Tom Hanks made the wish in Big, and then it was the next day you just woke up. I woke up as a different person. I woke up as a crooked man who cycled a crooked mile, and I ended up with a crooked swag. So that was my first instance. And where I was working, across from me was a chiro, so I went to him. The chiro was like, he turned me into his bubble wrap, popped me about, and the only thing I would suggest a chiro for is instant relief, because he had this electric machine which sent shocks where I needed them, and he used some kind of gel, but otherwise, no matter how many visits I had with him, nothing helped. Doctors and medical in Australia kind of suck, so they just like take painkillers and come in 2 weeks. But I slowly started finding good exercises. The first one is related to anterior pelvic tilt, where your spine, you're tilting your pelvic a little too forward, in which case you lie down. And as you lie down, you push your belly inwards. So you're trying to get your lower back to touch the floor, even though your spine curve is meant to be a bit high. Just meant to do that exercise. The next exercise is with knees close together, around 90 degrees. Just stay on one side for a while. I really like this exercise. And then do it on the other side. But then when you progress, you want to spread your legs a little bit and then do that. That just feels so good. Now the thing to remember is you don't want to stretch too much, because you're not trying to stretch. You want to strengthen and floss that nerve more. So that was the other exercise. Now for me it's on this side, so figure 4. I really like doing this one also. And I do my yoga positions, which I'll show you later. But much later, when I progressed, my physio told me, grab your knee from inside there. Oh, that just feels so good. It hurts in the start, but then it just releases just enough. And it feels really good. And the thing is, you need to keep doing it. The more I don't do it, the more I feel that I'm going to snap my back again. The other one is this. Hold, back and head straight back, and then just straighten as much as you can. Now, if you want to go that further mile, you can even pull your toes back to your face, but the physio didn't recommend that. It's just like, just be very light. You don't want to be in pain. You just want to floss that nerve. So that's one kind of nerve flossing. The other nerve flossing is where you sit like this, and just when you straighten this leg, lift your head up and bring it down. Some say do it the opposite way, but just keep moving that, because there's this big nerve which goes all the way this way, then inside, and then goes up and that way. So that's your other one. Few other exercises which have helped me is goblet squat. Don't go too heavy. You want to strengthen. Remember, you want to strengthen exactly where it's hurting, which was in the start I was just like, that's a very strange way to do things, but That's exactly what you need. Hip thrusts have really helped me also, just to strengthen that part. And now, once I strengthened this part and everything was fine, I don't know if this happens to the women, but for men, there's another pain which happens here. Like the pain goes up there, but there's this muscle there. So I had a few solutions. I'm also going to share with you the tool I've given away because it's been so good. And that's the Pso-rite. So it's shaped like a bum. And you just lie on it. Even though it feels like it's going to hurt, it just feels so good. The release you get when you push here. So I have balls which I just lie on. And I've got 2 more tennis balls which I've rolled up in a sock so that I can adjust because I have pains on my back also. So I can change it in different ways. Wherever you're lying, just keep it there. And then just relax in there. Stay there. I like to stay for 5-10 minutes. Half an episode of some kind of comedy or something. That feels so good. Just feels like, oof, all that is awakened now. So those are your main exercises. The other one I like using is this thing. The muscle one. I like using this spade. Be careful, you might want to feel like urinating. So just go deep inside. Oh, yes. Just where the bone, just before the bone. And try to go as deep as you can. I've had this issue since 2015. The first time I did it was that butterfly flip, and then it just happened. So that area just tightens and protects the area. The second time it happened was when I was brushing my teeth and I was just bending down to wash my face, and boom. So even the lightest work, and that happens. Another thing you need to avoid is when you are doing your movements, especially heavy lifting, make sure your trunk moves with you. Don't twist this way. Because what I ended up doing with my third one was my regional manager was coming to my store. So I wanted to get everything in order and had to get the milks faced and forward. So I stacked 3 crates, lifted them, and started twisting and moving around and throwing them on things. And I was told, okay, sit for 15 minutes, see what happens, and things just went downhill from there. Recently, like it's still been happening every now and then when I'm not careful, especially when I'm carrying my son, when I'm putting him back on the couch or something. It's just a light movement, but I don't think like anything serious is going to happen because I've trained myself to make sure I bend with my spine straight, bend from the knees, keep the trunk straight as much as I can, and the goblet squat will help a lot. I can't do deadlifts anymore, especially the one that touch the ground. So I slowly moved to stiff leg deadlifts, and now I'm even preferring good mornings, because good mornings will focus more on just that bit. It's not going to exercise everything. It's going to focus on the bits that need action. It's going to focus on the bits that need attention. Painkillers, magnesium. I usually have my coffee with turmeric honey, both of which are very nice and helpful, so you could try that. Seems like it's a problem for life now, if I'm not careful with my lifting, and which is why I'm saying, make sure you do your strengthening exercises, because even just carrying it, you're training your body to stick to the way you lift and everything. Fusion, cooling. So say I'm sitting at work like this, and I'm feeling that no circulation there again. What I'll do is I'll sit like this and just keep moving about until I feel some kind of coolness. Oh, there we go, there we go. Things are flowing, let it flow, let it flow. So that's one. And the other one I like doing is while I'm standing, there's a desk behind me. So when I'm at my standing desk, it's not that low. So when I'm standing, I just do these kind of exercises, or just give that bit a stretch. So you want to do any kind of psoas stretching exercise, which is also just going this way. So all this is getting a good stretch. But yeah, that's for sciatica. I've also had frozen shoulder, which has been a nightmare. And The most painful thing I've experienced is the rib joint sprain. I might make videos of these if there is interest, so please let me know. See you next time.